You are getting older, and people keep asking the same painful questions. When are you getting married? Why are you still single? Did something happen? Are you being too picky? And every question feels like a small wound opening again inside your heart. You smile in front of people, but inside you are tired. You attend weddings. You congratulate others. You say you are happy for them. And yes, part of you truly is happy. But another part of you goes home quietly and asks Allah, Ya Allah, when will it be my turn? Perhaps you have tried. Perhaps you have made dua. Perhaps proposals came and disappeared. Perhaps people judged you without knowing your story. Perhaps your heart is carrying sadness that no one sees because from the outside you look normal, but inside you feel left behind. Listen carefully. Your delay is not proof that Allah has rejected you. Your loneliness is not proof that you are unworthy. Your unmarried status is not a sign that your life has no value. Sometimes Allah delays something not to punish you, but to protect you, prepare you, purify you, and guide you toward what is better for your dunya and your akhirah. So before sadness convinces you that you are forgotten, before depression whispers that your life is finished, before comparison steals your peace, listen with your heart. Because Allah's timing may be different from your timing, but Allah's timing is never wrong. Your marriage delay is not proof that Allah has forgotten you. My beloved brothers and sisters, if there is one thought that quietly destroys the hearts of many unmarried people, it is the feeling that they have somehow been left behind while everyone else moves forward. Year after year passes, more weddings take place, more friends get married, more family members start families of their own. Social media becomes filled with engagement photos, anniversary celebrations, newborn babies, and happy family moments. Meanwhile, you look at your own life and begin asking painful questions. What is wrong with me? Why is everyone else finding someone except me? Has Allah forgotten about me? Will my turn ever come? These thoughts are dangerous because they slowly turn a delay into a personal rejection. What began as waiting becomes sadness. What began as sadness becomes disappointment. What began as disappointment can become hopelessness if it is not treated with faith and correct understanding. The first thing you must understand is that Allah never forgets His servants. Not for a single moment. The fact that something has not arrived yet does not mean Allah has abandoned you. It does not mean Allah is ignoring your du'as. It does not mean Allah loves others more than He loves you. It does not mean your future has been closed. It simply means that the one who knows everything has chosen a timing different from the one you wanted. How many times in your life have you looked back and realized that something you desperately wanted was actually not good for you? At the time, you cried because it did not happen. At the time, you felt hurt because the door closed. At the time, you thought your life was falling apart. But years later, you discovered that Allah was protecting you, guiding you, and saving you from things you could never have understood at that moment. Marriage is no different. Many people imagine that getting married will instantly solve all their emotional pain. They think that once they find a spouse, every loneliness will disappear, every insecurity will vanish, every sadness will leave, and every problem will be solved. But life does not work that way. Marriage is not Jannah. Marriage is another test. It is a beautiful test when Allah places barakah in it, but it remains a test. Some people are tested by waiting for marriage, while others are tested within marriage itself. The mistake many people make is assuming that the married person is automatically happier than the unmarried person. This is not always true. There are people who cry because they are unmarried, and there are people who cry because they are married to the wrong person. There are people who feel lonely while living alone, and there are people who feel lonely while lying beside someone every night. There are people begging Allah for marriage, and there are people begging Allah for peace inside their marriage. This is why you should never compare your unfinished chapter to someone else's highlighted moment. My beloved brothers and sisters, society often places enormous pressure on unmarried people. Sometimes the pressure comes from relatives. Sometimes it comes from friends. Sometimes it comes from cultural expectations. Sometimes it even comes from our own minds. Every birthday becomes a reminder of age. Every family gathering becomes uncomfortable. Every wedding invitation feels heavier than the one before it. People ask questions without realizing the pain they are causing. They assume they are helping when they are actually opening wounds. They speak as if marriage is something entirely under human control. They forget that Allah is the one who brings hearts together. They forget that Allah is the one who writes destinies. They forget that some of the greatest servants of Allah experienced delays, hardships, loneliness, and tests before receiving what was written for them. Do not allow the voices of people to become louder than the promises of Allah. One of the most beautiful realities of faith is knowing that Allah sees the pain you never tell anyone about. He sees the tears that fall after everyone else has gone to sleep. He sees the moments when you smile publicly but cry privately. He sees the silent du'as that never leave your heart. He sees the weddings you attended while secretly asking Him when your own day would come. He sees the loneliness you cannot explain to anyone. He sees the fear of growing older. He sees the pressure. He sees the disappointment. He sees everything. And because He sees everything, He is fully aware of exactly what you need and exactly when you need it. Allah says, النسمة للنسمة 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 إن الله كان بكل شيء عليما. This verse should bring tremendous comfort to your heart. Allah knows. He knows what people do not know. He knows the spouse you need, not just the spouse you want. He knows the timing that will benefit you, not just the timing that feels comfortable to you. He knows the future consequences of every decision. He knows who will help your deen and who will harm it. He knows which closed doors are actually blessings and which delays are actually mercy. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is another reality many people fail to appreciate. The waiting season itself has value. It is not an empty chapter. It is not wasted time. Allah does not create meaningless seasons in the life of a believer. Perhaps during this waiting period, Allah is strengthening your relationship with Him. Perhaps He is teaching you patience. Perhaps He is protecting your heart from the wrong person. Perhaps He is helping you mature emotionally. Perhaps He is healing wounds you have not fully addressed. Perhaps He is preparing you for responsibilities you are not yet ready to carry. Perhaps He is building qualities inside you that your future marriage will desperately need. The problem is that we often focus so much on what has not arrived that we completely miss what Allah is doing right now. Imagine standing before Allah one day and discovering that the years you spent waiting were actually among the most spiritually valuable years of your life. Imagine discovering that what felt like a delay was actually preparation. Imagine discovering that every tear, every dua, every moment of patience, and every struggle was being recorded as an act of worship. My beloved brothers and sisters, your value does not begin on your wedding day. Your purpose does not begin when someone chooses you. Your worth is not determined by your relationship status. Allah created you for a purpose far greater than being someone's husband or someone's wife. Marriage is part of life, but it is not the definition of life. Never allow yourself to believe that you are incomplete simply because you are unmarried. You are a servant of Allah before you are anything else. You have opportunities to worship, grow, learn, help others, improve yourself, and draw closer to Allah. Right now, your life has meaning right now. Your existence has value right now. Your relationship with Allah matters right now. So, if you are getting older and still unmarried, do not let shaitan convince you that your story is over. Your story is still being written by the one who writes the most beautiful endings. Continue making dua. Continue taking halal steps. Continue improving yourself. Continue trusting Allah. Because the same Allah who created companionship is fully capable of bringing the right person into your life at the perfect moment. And when that moment comes, you will realize that Allah was never late. He was preparing something according to a wisdom far greater than anything you could see. Allah may be protecting you from a future you cannot see. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the hardest realities to accept when marriage is delayed is that Allah may actually be protecting you. The difficulty is that protection rarely feels like protection while you are experiencing it. Protection often feels like disappointment. It feels like rejection. It feels like loneliness. It feels like unanswered du'as. It feels like watching other people receive the very thing you have been asking Allah for year after year. This is why many people become frustrated. They begin to wonder why things keep falling apart. A proposal comes and suddenly disappears. A family agrees and then changes their mind. Someone seems interested and then walks away. Everything appears to be moving in the right direction. And then unexpectedly the door closes. The human heart naturally asks, why? But my beloved brothers and sisters, the problem is that we only see one page while Allah sees the entire book. We only see the present moment while Allah sees the future. We only see what makes us happy today while Allah sees what will benefit us tomorrow, next year, and on the day of judgment. Allah says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Subhanallah. Reflect upon this verse carefully. Allah is telling us that there are things we desperately want that may actually harm us, and there are things we desperately dislike that may actually save us. Yet because we are human, we judge everything according to our immediate emotions. If we get what we want, we think it is good. If we lose what we want, we think it is bad. But Allah is teaching us that reality is far more complex than that. How many people begged Allah to marry a certain person only to discover later that person would have become the greatest source of pain in their life? How many people cried when a proposal failed only to thank Allah years later when they learned the true character of the individual they almost married? How many people felt devastated by a delay only to realize later that Allah was protecting them from entering a marriage they were not ready for, or from someone who was not right for them? My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most painful mistakes people make is assuming that every closed door is a punishment. Sometimes a closed door is one of Allah's greatest mercies. Imagine a small child wanting to run into a busy road. The child cries when the parent stops him. The child thinks the parent is being unfair. The child thinks the parent is taking away something good. But the parent sees danger that the child cannot see. In a far greater way, Allah sees dangers we cannot see. There are people whose smiles hide cruelty. There are people whose religious appearance hides hypocrisy. There are people whose promises hide manipulation. There are people whose charm hides serious character flaws. There are people who would have entered your life and slowly destroyed your peace, your confidence, your mental health, your relationship with Allah, and your future. Yet because they looked good on the surface, you may have begged Allah for them. And because Allah loved you, He removed them. The pain of delay is often much smaller than the pain of the wrong marriage. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are people today who would give anything to go back in time and experience the delay you are complaining about. They rushed into marriage because they feared being alone. They ignored warning signs because they were desperate. They accepted someone because they thought marriage itself would solve all their problems. Now they are living with regret, emotional pain, conflict, and hardship that they never imagined. This is not to discourage marriage. Marriage is a beautiful blessing, but it is a reminder that timing matters, readiness matters, character matters, compatibility matters. Most importantly, Allah's guidance matters. Sometimes Allah delays your marriage because He is preparing the other person. Sometimes He is preparing you. Sometimes He is removing obstacles that you know nothing about. Sometimes He is writing a story far better than the one you have imagined. The challenge is that faith requires trust before understanding. Most people want understanding first and trust later. They want Allah to explain everything before they are willing to be patient. But true faith works differently. True faith says, Ya Allah, I do not understand everything that is happening, but I trust you because you know what I do not know. That level of trust transforms the heart. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is Allah teaching me through this? Instead of saying, Allah is denying me, you begin saying, perhaps Allah is protecting me. Instead of focusing on what has not arrived, you begin appreciating what Allah is already doing behind the scenes. My beloved brothers and sisters, every delay has a purpose, even when that purpose is hidden. Every closed door has wisdom, even when that wisdom is not immediately visible. Every disappointment contains lessons that often become clear only years later. One day, perhaps much sooner than you think, you may look back at this period of waiting and realize that Allah was not ignoring your du'as at all. He was answering them in a way that required patience. He was protecting you from paths that looked attractive but ended in pain. He was preserving you for something better. He was teaching you trust. He was strengthening your connection with Him. He was preparing a future that your current eyes could not yet see. And when that realization finally arrives, you will understand something beautiful. The delay was never proof that Allah had forgotten you. The delay was proof that Allah was taking care of details you could not see. That is why the believer never loses hope. Even when doors close, even when years pass, even when the heart grows tired, because the believer knows that Allah's wisdom is always greater than human understanding, and Allah's protection often arrives disguised as delay. Stop measuring your life against everyone else's timeline. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest reasons unmarried people become emotionally exhausted is because they are not only carrying the burden of waiting, they are also carrying the burden of comparison. Every time they open social media, attend a wedding, visit relatives, or meet old friends, they are reminded of what they do not have. Slowly, without realizing it, they begin measuring their entire life through the lens of marriage. Someone younger gets married and they feel left behind. Someone they grew up with gets engaged and they feel forgotten. A friend announces their second child and they begin questioning their own future. A family member asks another uncomfortable question and suddenly all the old fears return. The problem is not always the delay itself. Sometimes the real problem is the constant comparison that turns a test into a burden far heavier than it needs to be. My beloved brothers and sisters, comparison is one of Shaitan's most effective weapons because it blinds you to your own blessings while making you obsessed with someone else's life. It convinces you that everyone is happy except you. It convinces you that everyone is moving forward except you. It convinces you that Allah is giving to everyone except you. But this is an illusion. You are comparing your private struggles to someone else's public highlights. You are comparing your reality to what people choose to show. You are comparing your unfinished chapter to someone's carefully edited moment. The truth is that every person you envy is carrying struggles you know nothing about. The couple smiling in the wedding photo may be struggling with problems no one sees. The person who married early may be dealing with challenges they never expected. The family that appears perfect may be carrying pain hidden behind closed doors. The person whose life seems complete may secretly be making dua for something you already have. This is why comparison is so dangerous. It is built upon incomplete information. Allah never asked you to live someone else's story. Allah never asked you to follow someone else's timeline. Allah never asked you to compare your journey to the journey of another person. Allah created every soul with a unique path, unique tests, unique blessings, and unique timings. Some people marry at 20 and learn patience through marriage. Some marry at 40 and learn patience through waiting. Some receive wealth early and are tested through success. Some receive wealth later and are tested through struggle. Some are tested through what they have. Others are tested through what they do not have. But every test is carefully chosen by Allah according to what each soul needs. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful realities of faith is understanding that your timeline is written by the one who created time itself. Think about that for a moment. The one who created the heavens and the earth, the one who controls every heart, the one who knows every future conversation, every future meeting, every future opportunity, and every future outcome. That same Allah is managing your story. Do you really think He has lost track of your situation? Do you really think He is unaware of your age? Do you really think He has forgotten your desire for marriage? Of course not. Allah knows exactly where you are. Allah knows exactly what you need. Allah knows exactly what is coming. And Allah knows exactly when the right time will arrive. The problem is that human beings often want Allah's blessings without Allah's timing. We want the destination but not the journey. We want the outcome but not the preparation. We want the gift but not the growth that comes before the gift. Yet Allah's wisdom is often found in the waiting. Perhaps if marriage had arrived 5 years earlier, you would not have been emotionally ready. Perhaps if it had happened sooner, you would have chosen the wrong person. Perhaps if it had happened earlier, you would not have learned lessons that your future marriage desperately needs. Perhaps Allah is building qualities inside you today that will save your marriage tomorrow. My beloved brothers and sisters, never underestimate the value of preparation. A building that is meant to stand for decades requires a stronger foundation than a building meant to stand for months. Likewise, some blessings require preparation before they arrive. The greater the responsibility, the greater the preparation. Marriage is not simply companionship. Marriage is sacrifice. Marriage is patience. Marriage is forgiveness. Marriage is emotional maturity. Marriage is responsibility. Marriage is commitment. Marriage is worship. Marriage is carrying another person's heart with care. Perhaps Allah is using this season to strengthen you before He entrusts you with that responsibility. Instead of asking, why am I behind? Ask, what is Allah teaching me right now? Instead of saying, everyone else is ahead of me, say, Allah is guiding me according to my own journey. Instead of focusing on what other people have received, focus on becoming the best servant of Allah you can be today. Because the reality is this: marriage will not suddenly make you valuable. You are already valuable. Marriage will not suddenly give your life purpose. Your life already has purpose. Marriage will not suddenly make Allah love you. Allah's love is not measured by your marital status. Too many people put their life on hold while waiting for marriage. They postpone happiness. They postpone growth. They postpone dreams. They postpone gratitude. They postpone living. They tell themselves, I will be happy when I get married. But my beloved brothers and sisters, happiness built entirely upon a future event is fragile. A believer learns to find contentment in Allah at every stage of life. Whether married or unmarried, whether waiting or receiving, whether celebrating or struggling, because true peace comes from Allah, not from circumstances. This does not mean you stop making dua. This does not mean you stop seeking marriage. This does not mean you stop hoping. It simply means that while you are waiting, you continue living, you continue growing, you continue worshipping, you continue serving, you continue improving yourself. You continue trusting Allah, and you refuse to allow comparison to steal the blessings that already exist in your life. My beloved brothers and sisters, the person who is constantly looking at someone else's path will never appreciate their own. But the person who trusts Allah's plan finds peace even while waiting. One day, when Allah's timing finally becomes clear, you may look back at all the years you spent comparing yourself to others and realize something beautiful. You were never behind. You were exactly where Allah wanted you to be. Not a day late, not a day forgotten, not a day abandoned. You were simply walking a path that Allah designed specifically for you. And every step of that path was carrying you toward a destination that only He could see. Use this waiting season to become the person your future marriage needs. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the biggest mistakes people make when marriage is delayed is that they spend all of their energy focusing on finding the right person while forgetting to become the right person. They become so obsessed with the arrival of marriage that they completely overlook the purpose of the waiting period. They see waiting as wasted time. They see delay as an empty chapter. They see every passing year as something being taken away from them. But what if Allah is not simply delaying marriage? What if Allah is preparing you for it? Think about this carefully. Most people pray for a successful marriage. Very few people pray to become successful spouses. Most people ask Allah to send them a good husband or wife. Very few people ask Allah to make them a good husband or wife. Most people focus on what they want to receive. Very few people focus on what they are preparing to give. Marriage is not simply about finding someone who will make you happy. Marriage is about becoming someone capable of bringing peace, mercy, patience, understanding, and stability into another person's life. Marriage is not just about what enters your life. Marriage is also about what you bring into the life of another human being. This is why the waiting period can be one of the most valuable seasons of your life if you use it correctly. My beloved brothers and sisters, imagine two people standing at the door of marriage. The first person spent years complaining, comparing, becoming bitter, and blaming everyone around them. The second person spent years improving their relationship with Allah, learning emotional maturity, healing personal wounds, strengthening character, increasing knowledge, and developing patience. Both enter marriage. Which one is more likely to build a peaceful home? The answer is obvious. Preparation matters far more than many people realize. One reason some marriages struggle is because people enter them expecting marriage to solve problems that should have been solved before marriage. They expect marriage to heal every insecurity. They expect marriage to remove loneliness completely. They expect marriage to fix emotional wounds. They expect marriage to eliminate sadness. They expect marriage to provide constant happiness. Then reality arrives, and they discover that marriage is not a magical solution. Marriage magnifies what already exists inside you. If you carry gratitude, marriage often increases gratitude. If you carry patience, marriage often increases patience. If you carry kindness, marriage often increases kindness. But if you carry anger, insecurity, selfishness, emotional instability, or unresolved wounds, marriage often exposes those weaknesses more clearly than ever before. This is why Allah may be using this season to strengthen areas of your life that need growth before marriage arrives. My beloved brothers and sisters, perhaps Allah is teaching you patience right now, because one day your marriage will require patience. Perhaps Allah is teaching you emotional strength right now, because one day your spouse will need emotional strength from you. Perhaps Allah is teaching you self-control right now, because one day your marriage will face moments where self-control becomes essential. Perhaps Allah is teaching you reliance upon Him right now, because one day there will be situations where only reliance upon Allah will keep your home together. The waiting season is not empty. The waiting season is training. Many people see only the delay. Allah sees the preparation. Many people see only the loneliness. Allah sees the growth. Many people see only what has not happened yet. Allah sees what is being built inside the servant. My beloved brothers and sisters, use this time wisely. Strengthen your salah. Strengthen your connection with the Quran. Strengthen your character. Strengthen your relationship with your parents. Strengthen your emotional maturity. Learn how to communicate respectfully. Learn how to listen carefully. Learn how to forgive. Learn how to manage conflict. Learn how to control anger. Learn how to take responsibility. Learn how to show kindness when you are tired. Learn how to remain respectful when you disagree. These are not small skills. These are the foundations of strong marriages. Yet many people spend years searching for a spouse while investing almost nothing into becoming a better spouse themselves. Then they wonder why marriage becomes difficult. My beloved brothers and sisters, another reality many people fail to appreciate is that marriage is not simply about finding someone attractive. Attraction matters. Compatibility matters. Shared goals matter. But character matters even more. When beauty changes, character remains. When emotions fluctuate, character remains. When difficulties arrive, character remains. When life becomes challenging, character becomes one of the most valuable assets a person possesses. This is why you should use this waiting period to build the type of character that can survive difficult seasons. Anyone can be kind when life is easy. Anyone can smile when everything is going well. Anyone can be patient for a few days. But marriage requires long-term character. Marriage requires consistency. Marriage requires maturity. Marriage requires the ability to choose mercy even when emotions are low. These qualities are developed long before marriage arrives. My beloved brothers and sisters, do not sit and count the years, count the growth. Do not focus only on what you have not received. Focus on who you are becoming. Do not spend every day asking, when will Allah send my spouse? Also ask, what kind of person am I becoming while I wait? Because one day, when Allah opens that door, you will not simply bring your age into the marriage. You will bring your habits. You will bring your character. You will bring your relationship with Allah. You will bring your emotional health. You will bring everything you developed during the waiting period. That is why this season matters so much. My beloved brothers and sisters, never think that Allah is wasting your time. Allah does not waste the years of a sincere servant. Every lesson is serving a purpose. Every hardship is teaching something. Every delay is accomplishing something. Every moment of patience is producing growth. And perhaps one day, when you finally receive the spouse you have been praying for, you will look back at these years and realize something beautiful. You thought Allah was delaying your blessing, but in reality, Allah was preparing you to receive it. And had it arrived earlier, you might never have become the person capable of appreciating, protecting, and preserving the blessing properly. That is why the waiting season should never be viewed as a punishment. It should be viewed as preparation. Because the strongest marriages are often built by people who allowed Allah to first build them. Your loneliness can become the door that leads you closest to Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the deepest pains experienced by those whose marriage has been delayed is loneliness. It is not always the loneliness of being physically alone. Sometimes you can be surrounded by family, friends, co-workers, and people who care about you, yet still feel lonely inside. It is the loneliness of watching life move forward for others while your heart remains waiting. It is the loneliness of attending wedding after wedding and returning home to an empty room. It is the loneliness of carrying dreams that have not yet become reality. It is the loneliness of wanting someone to share your life with, someone to speak to after a difficult day, someone to support you during your struggles, someone to grow old with, someone to make dua beside you. And if we are honest, my beloved brothers and sisters, there are nights when that loneliness feels heavier than anyone around you realizes. There are nights when you lie awake wondering if your life will always be this way. There are nights when you question your future. There are nights when tears fall and no one knows. There are nights when shaitan comes and whispers that nothing will ever change. There are nights when your heart feels tired from hoping. And perhaps there are nights when you ask Allah questions that you have never shared with another human being. But it is precisely in those moments that one of the greatest opportunities of your life exists. Because loneliness can either push you away from Allah or bring you closer to Him than you have ever been before. The choice often depends on how you respond to it. My beloved brothers and sisters, many people try to escape loneliness through unhealthy means. They become desperate for attention. They seek validation from strangers. They enter relationships they know are displeasing to Allah. They compromise their values because they are afraid of being alone. They begin talking to people they should not be talking to. They begin accepting treatment they would never have accepted before. They allow emotional hunger to weaken their judgment. Why? Because loneliness can make a person vulnerable. A heart that has been waiting for years can become desperate for affection. A person who feels unseen can become desperate to feel noticed. A person who feels lonely can become desperate for companionship. And shaitan knows this. This is why some people who spent years protecting themselves suddenly make decisions they later regret. They are not necessarily evil people. They are often simply tired, emotionally exhausted, and vulnerable. But my beloved brothers and sisters, never allow loneliness to make you settle for something that will distance you from Allah. Never allow loneliness to convince you that any attention is better than no attention. Never allow loneliness to lower your standards of faith, character, dignity, and self-respect. The wrong relationship may temporarily reduce loneliness while creating years of pain afterward. The wrong person may briefly make you feel wanted while eventually making you feel broken. The wrong marriage may remove one type of loneliness while creating an even deeper loneliness inside your own home. This is why patience is so valuable. Patience protects you from making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is another side to loneliness that many people never discover. Loneliness can become one of the greatest teachers in your life. When the noise of people becomes quiet, you begin hearing your own heart. When distractions are removed, you begin reflecting more deeply. When human support feels limited, you begin turning toward divine support. When no one else fully understands your pain, you begin speaking to Allah with a sincerity that might never have existed otherwise. Some of the most beautiful du'as are born from loneliness. Some of the strongest connections with Allah are built during seasons of waiting. Some of the greatest spiritual transformations begin when a person reaches a point where they realize that no human being can truly fill the emptiness that only Allah was meant to fill. This is one of the secrets many people discover too late. They spend years believing that another person will complete them. Then they learn that only Allah can complete the heart. Marriage is a blessing. Companionship is a blessing. Love is a blessing. But none of these things were designed to replace Allah. A spouse can support you but cannot become your Lord. A spouse can comfort you but cannot become your source of ultimate peace. A spouse can love you but cannot fill every need of the human soul. The soul was created for Allah, and until it finds peace in Him, it will continue searching. My beloved brothers and sisters, perhaps this season of loneliness is teaching you a lesson that will benefit you for the rest of your life. Perhaps Allah wants you to learn how to stand on your own feet emotionally before you lean on another person. Perhaps Allah wants you to develop strength that does not depend upon constant reassurance from others. Perhaps Allah wants you to discover your value before someone else enters your life. Perhaps Allah wants you to build a relationship with Him so strong that when marriage finally arrives, your spouse becomes a blessing rather than an idol. Because one of the healthiest marriages is when two people come together while already being connected to Allah. Not two empty people trying to complete one another, but two servants of Allah helping one another move closer to Him. My beloved brothers and sisters, loneliness also gives you something many married people wish they had more of. Time. Time to grow. Time to learn. Time to heal. Time to strengthen your faith. Time to improve your character. Time to pursue beneficial knowledge. Time to work on weaknesses. Time to become emotionally healthier. Time to build a stronger relationship with Allah. Do not waste this season. Do not spend every day only mourning what you do not have. Also appreciate what Allah is allowing you to build, because one day this season may end. One day marriage may arrive. One day your circumstances may change. And when that day comes, you will either look back and be grateful for how you used this period, or you will regret the opportunities you wasted while waiting. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is something incredibly powerful about a servant who turns loneliness into worship, a servant who turns tears into dua, a servant who turns waiting into patience, a servant who turns uncertainty into trust, a servant who turns isolation into closeness with Allah. Such a person becomes stronger than they realize, because they discover that even when people are absent, Allah is present. Even when answers are delayed, Allah is listening. Even when doors are closed, Allah is planning. Even when the future is unclear, Allah is in control. And that realization changes everything. The person who learns this lesson no longer views loneliness as proof of abandonment. They begin seeing it as an opportunity for transformation. They begin understanding that perhaps the greatest gift hidden inside this season is not simply the spouse they are waiting for. Perhaps the greatest gift is the stronger relationship with Allah that they are developing while they wait. And if that relationship becomes strong enough, then regardless of when marriage arrives, the heart has already found something even more valuable: closeness to the one who never leaves, never disappoints, never forgets, and never abandons His servants. Do not let desperation make you choose the wrong person. My beloved brothers and sisters, when marriage is delayed for many years, one of the most dangerous tests that enters the heart is desperation. At first, you may be patient. You may tell yourself that Allah has a plan. You may make dua with hope. You may believe that the right person will come at the right time. But as the years pass, as the questions increase, as the pressure grows, as friends and relatives move forward in their lives, the heart can begin to feel tired. And when the heart becomes tired, it can start making decisions from fear instead of faith. This is where many people make choices that wound them for years. They begin saying, maybe I should just accept anyone now. They begin saying, maybe my standards are too high. They begin saying, maybe I should ignore this red flag because I am getting older. They begin saying, maybe a difficult marriage is better than being unmarried. They begin saying, at least someone is interested. And slowly, the fear of remaining single becomes louder than the need to choose wisely. My beloved brothers and sisters, listen carefully. Patience does not mean you refuse good proposals. Patience does not mean you become unrealistic. Patience does not mean you reject people for shallow reasons. Patience does not mean you expect perfection, because no human being is perfect. But patience also does not mean you throw yourself into a situation that your heart, your mind, and your deen already know is dangerous. There is a difference between being open-minded and being careless. There is a difference between having reasonable flexibility and ignoring clear harm. There is a difference between accepting someone imperfect and accepting someone unsafe. Every spouse will have weaknesses, but not every weakness should be ignored. Every marriage requires patience, but patience should not be used as an excuse to walk knowingly into oppression, disrespect, emotional abuse, dishonesty, irresponsibility, or a home where your deen may be harmed. My beloved brothers and sisters, marriage is not a trophy to prove people wrong. It is not a certificate to silence relatives. It is not a social achievement to make others stop asking questions. It is not something you enter merely so people can finally say, Alhamdulillah, they got married. Marriage is an amana. Marriage is a covenant. Marriage is a lifelong responsibility. Marriage is a place where your heart, your dignity, your worship, your children, your future, and your emotional peace may be deeply affected. So do not choose a spouse only because you are tired of waiting. Do not choose a spouse only because people keep pressuring you. Do not choose a spouse only because you fear age. Do not choose a spouse only because you want to escape loneliness. Do not choose a spouse only because you are afraid there may never be another chance. A marriage entered through panic can become a prison. A marriage entered through wisdom can become mercy. My beloved brothers and sisters, many people are suffering today not because marriage came late, but because marriage came without careful thought. They rushed because they were pressured. They ignored their concerns because they did not want to appear difficult. They overlooked character because the person looked good on paper. They accepted disrespect because they thought love would fix it. They ignored weak deen because they thought marriage would change the person. They dismissed dishonesty because they did not want to lose the proposal. Then after marriage, the same things they ignored before marriage became the very things that broke their peace. The controlling behavior became stronger. The anger became more frightening. The lack of responsibility became heavier. The dishonesty became more painful. The disrespect became more normal. The weak connection with Allah affected the whole home. The red flags they excused before marriage became the daily reality they had to live with after marriage. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is why Islam teaches us to look at deen and character, not only appearance, not only money, not only family name, not only education, not only sweetness of speech, not only emotions. Deen and character matter because marriage will test both. A person can speak beautifully before marriage, but what will they do when they are angry? A person can smile in front of your family, but how will they behave when no one is watching? A person can make promises, but are they responsible enough to fulfill them? A person can say they love you, but do they fear Allah enough not to hurt you unjustly? The question is not only, do they want me? The deeper question is, will they fear Allah with me? Will they fear Allah when they are upset? Will they fear Allah when there is disagreement? Will they fear Allah when they have power in the relationship? Will they fear Allah when your weakness is in their hands? Will they fear Allah with your rights, your heart, your dignity, and your future? Because a person who fears Allah is not perfect, but when they make mistakes, they can return, repent, apologize, and correct themselves. But a person with no fear of Allah may harm you and still justify themselves. They may break your heart and still blame you. They may neglect your rights and still act as if nothing is wrong. This is why choosing based on deen and character is not old-fashioned, it is protection. My beloved brothers and sisters, desperation can make people confuse attention with love. Someone messages them, and because they have felt unseen for so long, they begin to feel special. Someone compliments them, and because they have felt unwanted, they become emotionally attached. Someone promises marriage, and because they are tired of waiting, they ignore the fact that the path is not halal, the intentions are unclear, or the behavior is inconsistent. This is a very serious danger. Do not let emotional hunger make you accept emotional crumbs. Do not let loneliness make you believe that secret conversations are love. Do not let age pressure make you ignore your dignity. Do not let someone use your desire for marriage to pull you into something Allah has not permitted. What begins as comfort can become attachment. What begins as innocent conversation can become emotional dependence. What begins as hope can become heartbreak. And then a person finds themselves even more wounded than before. My beloved brothers and sisters, if someone is serious, let them come correctly. Let them involve families in a respectful way. Let the process be clear. Let intentions be honorable. Let there be transparency. Let there be wisdom. Let there be istikhara. Let there be consultation. Let there be observation of character. Do not allow someone to keep you emotionally trapped while giving you no clear commitment. Do not allow someone to enjoy your attention while delaying responsibility. Do not allow someone to speak of marriage while avoiding the steps that lead to marriage. Your heart is not a playground. Your time is not something to be wasted. Your dignity is not for someone to test casually. Your future is not for someone to treat carelessly. My beloved brothers and sisters, another mistake people make when they are desperate is that they begin lowering the wrong standards while keeping the wrong expectations. They may ignore deen and character, but still obsess over beauty, income, status, or social image. They may overlook someone's prayer, anger, honesty, and responsibility, but focus heavily on appearance, lifestyle, and family prestige. This is not wisdom. Wisdom is knowing which standards are essential and which preferences can be flexible. Yes, attraction matters. Yes, compatibility matters. Yes, practical life matters, but never make secondary things more important than primary things. A person's beauty may attract you, but their character will live with you. A person's income may impress you, but their mercy will comfort you. A person's status may make people praise you, but their deen will affect your home. A person's words may excite you, but their actions will define your reality. So be balanced. Do not demand perfection. Do not reject good people for small reasons. Do not chase fantasy. Do not create impossible lists. But also do not ignore what Allah has made important. Do not ignore prayer. Do not ignore honesty. Do not ignore anger. Do not ignore responsibility. Do not ignore respect. Do not ignore how they speak about others. Do not ignore how they treat people weaker than them. Do not ignore whether they can apologize. Do not ignore whether they listen. Do not ignore whether they respect boundaries. Do not ignore whether they bring you closer to Allah or pull you away from Him. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is no shame in wanting marriage. There is no shame in feeling tired of waiting. There is no shame in making dua with tears. There is no shame in admitting that loneliness hurts. But there is danger in allowing that pain to become the leader of your decisions. Your pain should be taken to Allah, not handed to the first person who gives you attention. When the heart is wounded, it needs guidance more than ever. This is why you must surround yourself with wise people, speak to trusted family members, seek advice from people of deen and maturity, Do not make major decisions in emotional isolation. Sometimes a person outside your pain can see clearly what your heart is too tired to see. Sometimes you need someone to say, slow down, ask more questions, observe more carefully, do not rush. This concern is real. And sometimes you need someone to say, this is a good person. Do not reject them because of fear or unrealistic expectations. Wisdom means not rushing into harm and also not running away from good because of fear. My beloved brothers and sisters, if you are getting older and still unmarried, do not think that wisdom is no longer necessary. In fact, wisdom becomes even more necessary because pressure becomes stronger. The older a person gets, the more people may try to push them into panic. But your age does not remove your right to choose carefully. Your age does not mean your dignity is reduced. Your age does not mean you must accept disrespect. Your age does not mean you should marry someone whose deen and character worry you deeply. Allah is not unjust. Allah does not say that because you waited longer, you must now accept harm. Never believe that. At the same time, do not let bitterness make you reject every possibility. Some people become so hurt by delay that they become harsh, suspicious, and closed. Every proposal seems wrong. Every person seems dangerous. Every conversation feels exhausting. They protect themselves so strongly that they no longer allow any halal door to open. This also needs balance. Tawakkul means you take the means while trusting Allah. So take the means. Be open to suitable introductions. Ask Allah. Ask questions. Seek advice. Look for deen and character. Give good people a fair chance, but do not abandon wisdom. My beloved brothers and sisters, desperation says, I must get married now no matter what. Faith says, Ya Allah, grant me marriage if it is good for me and protect me from it if it will harm me. Desperation says, I cannot live without this person. Faith says, I need Allah more than I need anyone. Desperation says, if this proposal ends, my life is over. Faith says, if Allah closes this door, He knows why. Desperation says, I am running out of time. Faith says, my time is in the hands of Allah. This is the difference between a heart led by fear and a heart led by trust. My beloved brothers and sisters, never forget that the spouse written for you will not miss you by accident. What is meant for you will reach you by the permission of Allah, even if the path looks impossible. And what is not meant for you will not stay, even if you try to hold it with both hands. This does not mean you sit doing nothing. It means you take halal steps without destroying your peace, your deen, or your dignity. Make dua, but do not chase haram. Seek marriage, but do not sell your self-respect. Be flexible, but do not ignore serious red flags. Be hopeful, but do not become blind. Be patient, but do not become passive. Take the means, but rely on Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, a delayed marriage with Allah's protection is better than a rushed marriage filled with regret. A season of waiting with dignity is better than a lifetime of pain caused by panic. A lonely night in obedience is better than companionship that pulls you away from Allah. A heart that waits with faith may hurt, but a heart that rushes into the wrong hands may break in ways that take years to heal. So protect your heart, protect your deen, protect your dignity, protect your future home. Do not let people pressure you into a decision they will not have to live with every day. They may attend the wedding, eat the food, take pictures, congratulate you, and go home. But you are the one who will live with the consequences. You are the one who will share the home. You are the one who will face the character of that person every morning and every night. So choose with Allah in mind, not people's comments in mind. My beloved brothers and sisters, if Allah has kept you waiting, let that waiting make you wiser, not desperate. Let it make you more connected to Him, not more careless. Let it make your dua deeper, not your standards weaker in the wrong places. Let it make you humble, not hopeless. Let it make you ready, not reckless. Because the goal is not simply to get married. The goal is to enter a marriage that has mercy, a marriage that has barakah, a marriage that protects your deen, a marriage that gives peace to your heart. A marriage where both people fear Allah enough to treat each other with kindness, patience, and responsibility. And if waiting a little longer protects you from a lifetime of regret, then that waiting is not a curse, it is mercy. So ask Allah for a spouse, but also ask Allah for wisdom. Ask Allah for marriage, but also ask Allah for protection. Ask Allah to open the right door, but also ask Him to close every door that looks beautiful yet hides pain. Ask Allah to remove desperation from your heart and replace it with trust. Ask Allah to make you strong enough to walk away from what is harmful and humble enough to accept what is good. And remember this clearly, being unmarried is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Losing yourself, losing your deen, losing your dignity, and losing your peace in the wrong relationship is far heavier. So wait with faith, choose with wisdom, and trust that the one who wrote your destiny knows exactly what He is doing. Allah's timing is not late. It is preparing a better ending than you can see. My beloved brothers and sisters, the final lesson is the one your heart needs to hold with both hands. Especially when the waiting has become long, when the questions have become painful, when the mirror reminds you that age is moving, when people around you seem to be entering new chapters while you feel stuck in the same one, and when sadness begins whispering that perhaps your time has passed. Listen carefully. Allah's timing is not late. Allah's decree is not behind schedule. Allah has not lost control of your story. What is written for you will not miss you, and what is not written for you could never have stayed. Even if you cried for it, chased it, planned for it, and held on to it with all your strength. One of the greatest struggles of being unmarried while getting older is that you begin measuring your life by a clock that Allah never gave you. Society tells you that by a certain age you should be married. By a certain age you should have children. By a certain age your home should look a certain way. By a certain age your life should be settled. And by a certain age you should stop hoping for certain dreams. But who gave society the authority to define your destiny? Who gave people the right to decide when Allah should open your door? Who told you that your life must follow the same timeline as your friends, cousins, neighbors, or classmates? Allah did not create you to live according to people's expectations. Allah created you to live according to His decree, His wisdom, His mercy, and His perfect knowledge. The pain becomes heavier when you believe that delay means denial. You start thinking that because marriage has not happened yet, perhaps it will never happen. You begin treating every passing year like evidence against your hope. You begin reading your age like a sentence. You begin looking at your reflection and thinking, maybe I am no longer wanted. You begin looking at younger people getting married and thinking, maybe my chance is gone. But this is not faith speaking. This is fear speaking. Faith says that Allah is able. Faith says that Allah opens doors no one expected. Faith says that Allah can bring a person from a place you never imagined, at a time you never predicted, in a way you never planned. Faith says that your life is not finished simply because one blessing has not arrived yet. Do not make your age bigger than Allah's power. Do not make your circumstances bigger than Allah's mercy. Do not make people's opinions bigger than Allah's plan. The same Allah who created companionship, love, mercy between spouses, and the beauty of a peaceful home is fully able to grant it when He wills, but He grants according to wisdom, not pressure. He gives according to knowledge, not panic. He writes according to what is best, not according to what people expect from you at family gatherings. There are people who were convinced their story was over, and then Allah opened a door they never saw coming. There are people who waited many years, and then the right person entered their life in a way that made them understand why every previous door had closed. There are people who cried over delays and then later thanked Allah because the delay protected them from a future that would have broken them. There are people who thought they were being rejected, but Allah was actually preserving them for something cleaner, safer, calmer, and more blessed. So never judge the whole story while you are still inside one difficult chapter. Sometimes Allah delays a blessing because the environment is not ready. Sometimes Allah delays it because your heart is not ready. Sometimes Allah delays it because the other person is not ready. Sometimes Allah delays it because He is removing harmful people from the path. Sometimes Allah delays it because He is teaching you to stop worshipping the blessing and start trusting the giver of the blessing. Sometimes Allah delays it because if it came earlier, you would have entered it with wounds that still needed healing, expectations that still needed correction, and weakness that still needed strengthening. The delay that feels painful today may be the mercy that protects tomorrow. Many people want marriage because they are tired of loneliness. But Allah may want to first teach them how to find peace with Him so that they do not enter marriage emotionally dependent on another human being in an unhealthy way. Many people want marriage because they want someone to make them feel valuable. But Allah may want them to first understand their value before a person enters their life. Many people want marriage because they want to escape family pressure. But Allah may want them to learn strength, patience, and wisdom before they carry the responsibilities of a home. Many people want marriage because they think it will fix everything. But Allah may want them to realize that marriage is not the healer of the soul. Allah is. And this is very important. Marriage is a blessing, but it is not your Lord. Marriage is a mercy, but it is not your source of ultimate peace. Marriage is a protection, but it is not the foundation of your worth. Marriage is a beautiful part of life, but it is not the only reason you were created. If your heart believes that life cannot have meaning until marriage arrives, then even if marriage comes, you may place a burden on that marriage that no human relationship can carry. A spouse can love you, support you, and walk with you, but a spouse cannot become your Allah. A spouse cannot answer every fear inside you. A spouse cannot heal every wound you never brought to Allah. A spouse cannot carry the weight of your entire identity. This is why the waiting season must not only be used to seek marriage, but to return the heart to its true center. Your life has value right now, not after the nikah, not after the wedding, not after people stop asking questions. Right now, your salah matters right now. Your dua matters right now. Your character matters right now. Your service to your parents, your family, your community, and the people around you matters right now. Your growth matters right now. Your patience matters right now. Your private tears matter right now. Your struggle to remain halal in a world full of temptation matters right now. Do not put your entire life on pause waiting for one door to open. Walk through the doors Allah has already opened. Build what Allah has already given you. Become useful, become wise, become peaceful, become closer to Allah. Do not let one delayed blessing make you blind to 1,000 present blessings. One of the traps Shaitan uses against unmarried people is making them speak hopeless words over their own lives. He whispers, "No one will ever choose you. You are getting too old. Allah is giving everyone except you. Your dua is not working. Your life is empty. You are unwanted." Then if you're not careful, you begin repeating those whispers with your own tongue. You say, "I will never get married." You say, "My life is over." You say, "Maybe Allah does not want good for me." You say, "There is no hope." Be very careful with the words you allow to settle in your heart. A believer's tongue should not become a servant of despair. Speak with hope. Speak with trust. Speak with humility. Say, "Allah knows what I do not know. Allah sees what I cannot see. Allah can change my situation in a moment. Allah is preparing what is best for me. I will take the means. Protect my dignity. Keep making dua and trust the one who has never abandoned me." This does not mean you pretend you are not hurting. Islam does not ask you to fake happiness. You may feel sad. You may feel lonely. You may cry. You may admit that the waiting is difficult. But do not let sadness become hopelessness. There is a difference between a heart that is hurting and a heart that has given up on Allah. A believer may cry, but the believer cries while still raising the hands in dua. A believer may feel tired, but the believer still says, "Ya Allah, you are my hope." A believer may feel lonely, but the believer still knows that Allah is near. A believer may not understand the delay, but the believer refuses to accuse Allah of injustice. And if the sadness becomes so heavy that it begins to affect your sleep, your health, your worship, your will to live, or your ability to function, then do not suffer silently. Speak to someone trustworthy. Seek help from people of wisdom. Speak to family members who are gentle. Speak to a qualified counselor if needed. Speak to a scholar or someone who can guide you with mercy and knowledge. Seeking help is not weakness. It is wisdom. The believer takes care of the heart, the mind, and the body because all of them are trusts from Allah. Do not let loneliness isolate you from every source of support. Sometimes Allah sends help through people, through advice, through therapy, through community, through knowledge, through sincere companionship, and through practical steps. At the same time, continue taking halal means. Tawakkul is not sitting with folded hands while life passes. Tawakkul is tying your camel and trusting Allah. Let trusted family members know you are open to marriage. Ask reliable people to help. Be clear about your values. Be flexible in areas where flexibility is wise, but firm in areas where deen, character, respect, and safety are essential. Do not chase perfection, because perfection does not exist in human beings. But do not throw away wisdom either. Pray, istikhara, ask questions, look at conduct, not just words. Observe consistency, not just promises. Pay attention to how a person handles disagreement, responsibility, anger, and boundaries. A person's true character matters more than their first impression. Some of you have been hurt by failed proposals so many times that you are afraid to hope again. You do not want to open your heart because you fear another disappointment. You do not want to meet anyone because you are tired of people leaving. You do not want to make dua with the same intensity because you fear feeling broken if the answer is delayed again. But do not allow past disappointments to close your heart completely. Let them make you wiser, not bitter. Let them make you more careful, not hopeless. Let them teach you what to look for, what to avoid, and what to ask Allah for. The believer learns from pain, but does not become imprisoned by it. Perhaps Allah did not allow those earlier doors to stay open because they were not your doors. Perhaps those people were only passing through your life to teach you something. Perhaps those disappointments were clearing the path. Perhaps the tears you cried were washing away attachments that were not good for you. Perhaps Allah was showing you that your heart must not attach itself so deeply to possibilities before they become halal realities. Sometimes we suffer not only because a person left, but because we gave that person a place in the heart before Allah had written them into our life permanently. So learn, heal, and continue with dignity. There is also a hidden mercy in not receiving everything quickly. Quick blessings are not always easy to handle. When something arrives after patience, you may appreciate it more deeply. When marriage comes after years of dua, you may treat it with more gratitude. When companionship comes after loneliness, you may understand its value. When Allah grants you a spouse after a long wait, you may enter that marriage with more humility, more maturity, and more awareness that it was never guaranteed. It was a gift from Allah. Delay can make gratitude stronger. Delay can make the heart softer. Delay can make the blessing sweeter when it finally arrives. But even while you hope for marriage, keep your akhirah bigger than your dunya. Do not let marriage become the only dua you make, the only dream you chase, and the only topic that fills your heart. Ask Allah for Jannah. Ask Allah for forgiveness. Ask Allah for guidance. Ask Allah for a good ending. Ask Allah for beneficial knowledge, purity, strength, health, peace, and contentment. Ask Allah for a spouse if it is good for you, but also ask Allah to make you pleased with His decree. Because the greatest success is not simply becoming married. The greatest success is meeting Allah with a heart that did not lose faith during the waiting. This world is temporary. Marriage is temporary. Beauty is temporary. Youth is temporary. People's opinions are temporary. Even the happiest homes in this world are temporary. The permanent home is with Allah. So yes, seek marriage. Love marriage. Desire a halal family. And ask Allah for companionship. But do not forget that everything in this world is a means, not the final destination. A righteous spouse is a blessing because they help you reach Allah, not because they replace your need for Allah. A peaceful home is a blessing because it becomes a place of worship, mercy, remembrance, and growth, not because it becomes your paradise on earth without tests. If Allah gives you marriage, be grateful. If Allah delays it, be patient. If Allah protects you from the wrong person, be thankful even through tears. If Allah opens a door, enter it with wisdom. If Allah closes a door, leave it with trust. If Allah keeps you waiting, do not waste the waiting. If Allah gives you loneliness, turn it into dua. If Allah gives you sadness, turn it into closeness. If Allah gives you uncertainty, turn it into tawakkul. This is how a believer transforms every season into worship. Remember that your story is not being written by relatives who ask painful questions. It is not being written by social media. It is not being written by people who compare you. It is not being written by those who make you feel less because you are unmarried. Your story is being written by Allah. People see your age, Allah sees your heart. People see your status, Allah sees your sabr. People see what has not happened yet, Allah sees what He is preparing. People may pity you, but Allah may be raising you. People may think you are behind, but Allah may be saving you from paths that would have destroyed your peace. So walk with dignity. Do not beg people to choose you. Do not shrink yourself to be accepted. Do not enter haram because you are lonely. Do not accept disrespect because you are tired. Do not compare your decree with someone else's decree. Do not allow depression to convince you that Allah's mercy has ended. Take care of yourself. Improve yourself. Beautify your character. Strengthen your deen. Keep your home and heart ready for halal blessings. And above all, remain connected to Allah, because a heart connected to Allah is never truly abandoned. One day, whether in this world or the next, you will understand the wisdom of what Allah wrote. You will understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, why certain plans collapsed, why certain delays stretched longer than you expected, and why Allah asked you to wait when you wanted everything immediately. On that day, the believer will not say, Allah wronged me. The believer will say, Allah knew and I did not know. So if you are getting older and still unmarried, feeling sad, tired, depressed, or left behind, listen to this with your heart. You are not a failure. You are not forgotten. You are not unwanted in the sight of Allah. Your story is not over. Your dua is not wasted. Your tears are not ignored. Your patience is not unseen. Your future is not beyond Allah's power. The door that is meant for you can open in a way that surprises everyone, including you. Until then, live with faith, wait with dignity, choose with wisdom, hope with patience, heal with Allah, take the means without losing yourself. And trust that the one who delayed the blessing knows exactly when to send it, how to send it, and whether it is best for you. Allah's timing is not late, it is perfect. And when Allah writes the next chapter, no human being on earth can stop it from reaching you. My beloved brothers and sisters, if you are getting older and still unmarried, I want you to leave this reminder with a heart that is lighter than the one you came with. Do not walk away thinking your life is over. Do not walk away believing that Allah has forgotten you. Do not walk away carrying the words of people as though they are heavier than the decree of Allah. People may ask painful questions. People may compare you. People may look at your age and make assumptions. But Allah looks at your heart, your patience, your tears, your dignity, your dua, and your effort to remain halal when loneliness could have pushed you in the wrong direction. Your delay is not your shame. Your waiting is not your failure. Your unmarried status is not a sign that you are unwanted. Sometimes Allah delays the very thing you love because He is protecting you from what you cannot see, preparing you for what you cannot yet carry, and teaching your heart to depend on Him before depending on another human being. The world may call it late, but faith calls it written. The world may call it rejection, but perhaps Allah calls it protection. The world may call it loneliness, but perhaps Allah is turning it into closeness. So do not let sadness make you desperate. Do not let age make you reckless. Do not let pressure make you choose someone who does not fear Allah with your heart. Marriage is a beautiful blessing, but it must be entered with wisdom, dignity, and trust in Allah, not panic, fear, and emotional hunger. It is better to wait with Allah than to rush into a home where your deen, peace, and dignity are broken. And while you wait, keep living, keep growing, keep worshipping, keep improving your character, keep taking halal steps, keep making dua, keep trusting Allah. Your life matters today, not only after marriage. Your salah matters today, your patience matters today, your healing matters today, your relationship with Allah matters today. Do not put your entire life on hold for one blessing while ignoring the many blessings Allah has already placed around you. If your heart feels heavy, speak to Allah. If your tears fall at night, let them fall in dua. If depression becomes too heavy to carry alone, seek help from trustworthy people, people of wisdom, and those who can support you with care and mercy. There is no shame in asking for help. Your heart is an amanah, And taking care of it is part of taking care of what Allah gave you. Remember this clearly. What Allah has written for you will reach you at the right time, in the right way, with the right wisdom. No one can block what Allah has decreed for you, and no one can force into your life what Allah has protected you from. So wait with dignity, hope with patience, choose with wisdom, and trust the one who knows the beginning, the ending, and every hidden detail in between. May Allah grant marriage to those who are waiting for it, grant healing to those whose hearts are tired, grant peace to those who feel lonely, grant wisdom to those making decisions, and grant every unmarried Muslim a spouse who becomes a source of mercy, protection, love, barakah, and closeness to Allah. Ameen.